Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
I won. Dana said I won. Rogan said I won. We all know I won. I went to Canada, you guys. I went to Canada and I fought in front of the commies, and they shafted me. Dreykus wants it. I want it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Puma Gata, the cat that hands your middleweight championship back. And to my left over here is the main man, Jesus Dinero, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Deadly ideas, but then spicier content than your girls' only fans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. So, this past weekend, Dana White announced the fight that a lot of us thought should have been made a lot sooner. DDP versus Sean Strickland 2 is coming up. Listen, if you guys go back and watch the fight, before the initial fight happened, I had predicted Sean Strickland was going to win. DDP ended up winning, and much like myself, Dana White, and so many other people said, we all kind of felt Sean Strickland won the fight. But the judges ended up giving it to DDP. I believe that fight was in Canada. I remember Strickland complaining a lot about it. So essentially at this point, we're having a rematch of a fight that should have probably been made a lot sooner. In my eyes, Strickland did win that particular fight. So this being made now, it seems like the natural response, of what should be happening. And listen, it's going to be interesting because DDP is really the one that's going to have to make changes. Because again, by all accounts, everyone that watched the fight pretty much gave it to Strickland. So Strickland just needs to do what he's been doing. If I'm being honest, the fact that Strickland's striking game has been upped as much as it has been. I've said it on a number of occasions. It's definitely an homage to Alex Pereira because he does train a lot of his striking with Alex Pereira, and I feel like that's really helped him. If you look at the evolution of Strickland's stances, the way that he holds himself when he's punching, the way that he moves, the way that he uses not just punches but leg kicks as well, he does them very effectively. And again, go back and watch the training video. Don't just take my word for it. There's a lot of good training video between him and Alex Pereira where you can tell Alex Pereira is teaching him, and you know, having someone like Alex Pereira on your side where he's such a phenomenal striker help you in your striking game, it just shows obviously the level of that Strickland has enhanced himself. That being said, listen, I do think DDP is gonna come better. Hopefully he comes better because given how much everybody pretty much, even again Dana White, which normally me and Dana White don't agree about anything. Given how much he said, I also think Strickland won that fight. It's really DDP that needs to make the adjustments and come in better. Now, here's the thing. DDP did really well in his last fight against Israel Adesanya. If I'm being honest, I think that was more on Adesanya than it was on DDP. Adesanya just did not look good. He didn't look like the super confident self that he normally is. So that is another reason why I think it's going to be really DDP that needs to make the adjustments, make some better decisions on how he's going to approach this. Maybe just wrestle him the entire time, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if DDP can compete with Strickland striking wise. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm just saying Strickland just seems to have a much better game in that particular avenue. With that being said, listen, I'm here for the fight. I think it's going to be a good fight no matter what. I think Strickland is going to either put up or shut up, because if he loses to DDP again, hey, look, man, you can't make no excuses. Back of the line, big dog. And listen, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of Strickland. I think the dude he says a lot of really dumb things, and I feel like he contradicts himself a lot, so I'm not really his biggest fan. But listen, again, we're not here to give you who we want to win, who are fan, who we're a fan of. We're here to tell you who we think is gonna win. If DDP doesn't change anything, I'm gonna go Strickland. The only thing that I think that would mess up a little bit is, I know we've all seen Alex Pereira talk a little bit of shit, basically saying, hey man, I might have to come down since DDP's beating all of my sons, making a little bit joke out of it, obviously. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I definitely think that DDP has to make some strategic changes. Again, maybe wrestle him the whole time, whatever it may be, because his last fight against Strickland did not look good for DDP. So we'll see. We'll see. At this particular moment, I do believe Strickland has the advantage. Mentally, he knew that he won the last fight, so I think that's going to help him with the confidence portion of it. But listen, DDP has the retrospect. DDP can go back, watch the video, and see all the mistakes that he did. And again, Strickland's going to come in confident saying, I did what I needed to do. I won the last fight, so maybe he doesn't do anything to upgrade. Whereas DDP now has hindsight and he can upgrade his game. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to be interesting. But what do you think about that, my man?
Listen, I can only theorize why the judges the way they did in the first fight. My only speculation of why that is because even if Sean Strickland landed the majority of the significant strikes, the one thing I can at least theorize as to why they might have judged it in era of DDP was the fact that Sean Strickland, even though DDP looked a little bit more beat up once we saw it at the press conference, Sean Strickland still had a massive cut above his eye that made it look like he was taking more damage than he is, even if he didn't necessarily take anything. And DDP was actually doing more of the pressure wrestling wise. I don't know if they have any sort of bias in that in Canada, but that's what I can only theorize. That's why they judge it towards DDP. Split decision, but still majority for working for a DDP. That being said, I don't personally have a whole lot of confidence of whether or not Sean Strickland's mental is there yet, given that we saw that he over-delivered on his promise of it being a war with Paulo Costa, which again, once you're a champion, the judges are already kind of judging it in your favor, at least a little bit. There's a little bit of a champion's advantage right there. I do think, yes, Sean Strickland does have the better striking advantage. DDP's striking is lanky looking at best, not greatest, but it gets the job done for what it is. But DDP does have the advantage when it comes to wrestling, I believe. And again, he looks like to be taking the pressure at the very least in the first fight, if anything, for 3 rounds. So I think if DDP was looking to do the smart thing, he'd be wanting to wrestle him and take him as much pressure as he can. Sean Strickland, the only thing I can offer for advice to him was like, don't over-deliver this time, my man. You need to actually put the gas on this fight, not like you have been on the other fights where he's been over-promising and under-delivering. And I think he acknowledges that he's been doing that as of late. Again, the Paulo Costa, there was no reason he shouldn't have taken that to a KO. So if he really wants that middleweight championship belt, he's gonna have to fight for it like hell this time around. Because if he under-delivers this time, he legit has no excuse for DDP. And again, We've seen Sean Strickland when he's absolutely at his best. If he under-delivers against DDP, he legit has no excuse but to look at himself and think, what am I doing personally wrong? And maybe there's some sort of mental bridge that Sean Strickland has. I don't know. The only thing I can say for sure is that Sean Strickland has the tools, but my thing is, judges aside, why couldn't he finish it the first time around? I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm just saying there was something blocking him. I couldn't say for sure. But something was stopping him from finishing it off the first time. Because when I looked back at that fight footage, he only looked super active in the last round. Which means the last round was when he was saying, okay, now I'm ready to fight. Which is insane to me considering that your championship is on the line. So the only thing I can offer is that this time around, you need to put all gas on the first round. Because your championship is basically on the line. If this is it for you, back of the line, buddy.
Yeah, man. Listen, I disagree with you a little bit. I do agree that he couldn't finish it. I don't think it was for lack of trying. I think, whether it was DDP wrestling him a little bit, whether it was DDP, trying to give back what he got. I think there was a number of reasons why. Again, I had Sean Strickland winning, so I disagree with the judges. But DDP is a tough guy as far as being taken down in the sense of knockdown, right? Like, good flush punches, all that kind of good stuff. So it's not that I don't think Sean Strickland didn't try. I just think he just couldn't get it over the line. I think that if Sean Strickland doesn't win this one, this might be a potential last chance at bat for the championship. Not to say that he can't get back here. I mean, he did it really well against Paulo Costa and all that, but people want to see new contenders. Once you've had 2 shots at the title, people are like, no, we don't want to see you back in. I'll reference Colby Covington. No one wants to see him fighting for the championship again. He lost twice. George Masvidal, he fought for the championship twice. Nobody wants to see him go for it. Again, once you've had 2 chances at bat and you fail 2 chances at bat, nobody wants to see it. And I'll even give you one of my, personal favorite fighters, Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker, before he got Khamzat Chimaev, a lot of people are saying, hey, look, man, he's had a couple of chances. If he wins, do we want to put him in the title picture? He's had 2 chances at bat, and he lost both times against Israel Adesanya. So there's a number of different things like that I think have to really be talked about. if Sean Strickland doesn't win this title, I think it's going to be highly questioned. Do we want to see him fight for the championship again? I think most of the time the answer is no. Don't get me wrong. He pulls out a couple phenomenal performances if he loses to DDP. But the reality of it is, I don't think people are going to want to see him in that title picture. But we'll see. Again, this is just our initial reaction to the fight just being announced. It's going to be a good fight no matter what. Again, personally, at this particular moment, I have Sean Strickland winning. But, as we get closer, we'll do a little bit more analysis. It's going to be interesting. It'll be good. The only one that has to really update their game a good amount is DDP. But I think both of them are going to come with some new things. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, deal some of the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.